Good evening, welcome back. This is episode 2 of Not So Pre-Med, the YouTube channel that dissects some of the common mistakes that I made as a pre-med student and how you can fix them and correct them to be successful as you go through this process. Tonight, I decided to film just because we have an MCAT class we take in my special master's program at Eastern Virginia Medical School, and I thought this would be no better way to take a break than to share some insight and some things that I've learned. So tonight we're going to talk about something that's really important when you think about your journey as a pre-med and what's required to be able to get into medical school and to succeed on your way there. So we're going to talk all about asking for help and what that really means and the differences and problems that it can kind of put into your application and your system. So we know going through the checklist of being pre-med that you have to get letters of recommendation, you have to succeed very well academically, you have to show that you're suitable for medical schools, but there's some ins and outs that aren't really put in there. So when we think about how we ask for help, we have to think about how we're going to get the right kind of help and what that actually means. And so when I say that, we can look at the example of going to office hours, for example. And this could be a teacher that you are legitimately confused about in class. You don't know what's going on. It's chemistry, it's orgo, it's physics, who knows? But it could also be a mentor, someone you're trying to get to do research with. It could be someone in your personal life. It could be a volunteer coordinator. It could be anybody. So when we talk about going to that person to get help, the worst thing that we can do is go to ask for help that we don't really need. This idea of like showing face to be there and be present and to kind of put yourself in the picture, but not having a lot of substance to it. And so when I think about asking for help, let's say that you're solving a gen chem problem, thermochem, thermodynamics, something with free energy, and you go to this professor's office hours and you say, okay, I need help with this problem. I got stuck on problem 17, how do you do it? And there's something already going on that's wrong, because just by asking how you did it, the professor is going to feel like, well, they obviously didn't try what I told them to in class. And so my first thought to think about is be prepared when you go to talk to anyone and ask for help. Think about what you're going to say and think about what you've already tried to get past that hurdle or that problem. By doing that and by recognizing those things, you're actually validating the person who's going to help you. So let's go back to that example with the professor. You go in and you sit down and you can start off just the same way. I'm doing these problems, these practice problems from class, and I'm really struggling to get to the right answer. But before we get there, I kind of want to walk through the steps that I took, what it led me to, and then why I'm confused about what the answer in the back of the book gave me. By doing this, you're showing that you're putting in work and you're going to learn and think on your own, that you're trying the things that they taught you in class, and you're giving them a lot more to work with. It also shows that you're willing to not just get an easy answer, but to put in the work alongside that professor that's already working so hard to help you out. The second thing is you need to be open-minded about when you ask for help. If you go in there with a certain mindset, like I'm going to get this information, I'm going to do things this way, that's okay. But your professor or your mentor might have a different idea. And if they're going to take it a different direction, the worst thing you can do is combat that, especially if you're not prepared, like I said in the first step. And finally, be humble. Be sincere when you go to ask for help, knowing that you are seriously needing it, that you need to get better in this class, that you need this research opportunity, that you're really interested in it. But don't put yourself on a pedestal as if you deserve the help. If it's something that you didn't earn, you have to show that person that they're valuable to you succeeding and that you're coming to see them because you respect them and you look forward to the help and relationship you're going to form while you're with them. I'm going to take a little tangent and talk about a little bit about why this is important. Asking for help is one of the hardest things that you can learn to do. And that could be in school, on this journey, or in your personal life if you're struggling with things. I know that when I was at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, I made the excuse often that I was too busy to go ask for help because I was working full-time and I was volunteering and I was taking a full course load, 19 hours, and I made the excuse that I couldn't go ask for help. And I had a really bad experience in my first science class there. When I switched into biology and chemistry as my majors, I had met someone at orientation and I sat down by them at Biology 101. I said, hey, let's form a study group. And that's just how I opened up. And they stopped and they looked at me and they're like, I'm not sure if that's going to be the best thing for me or the best thing for you. And if I think about those steps that I gave you, I really could have outlined to them, okay, hey, I think we'd be good study partners because, this is the way that I communicate, this is the way that you communicate. I take notes differently than you do, but we can really attack problems from both sides. And I think it could really help your grade in the class and how you learn, and help me as well as getting better as we move forward. But as you all know, if you've been on this for a while, this pre-med journey is filled with ups and downs, with speed bumps and with struggles. And asking for help is really one of the first things that you can do to get over those. But like I said, you have to be prepared to ask for help. Know what you're seeking and know what you need to get out of it. You have to be open-minded to what that help is going to be, knowing that you're asking someone that can give fruitful, realistic advice. And finally, you have to know that you're there because you need the help and not just because you're there to show up. Now, after you ask for help, whoever it's from, mentors, all those people that I listed before, you have to make sure that you maintain your connection with those people. Those mentors are going to be letters of recommendation. They're going to be support and information while you're going through this process. They're going to help you succeed. I'm still in touch with my mentors from junior college that I left 5 years ago. I'm still in touch with my mentors that I did research with at UNC, which I left 3 years ago. I'm still in touch with my mentors from the jobs that I had afterwards. Why? Because there's a reason I looked up to them and that they helped me with advice and information and guidance and recommendations. So you have to maintain those connections. I opened all this up about talking through your pre-med journey and the recommendations that you might need, and professors and mentors. But the last thing I kind of want to tie up is there's nothing more important than being able to ask for help in your personal life. Balance, self-care, and wellness are what are going to make this journey sustainable for you. I burn out more times than I know as an undergraduate because I was working so much. I was working incredibly hard, but I was working too hard. So maintaining the personal relationships, the people that are going to recognize that you are basically non-existent at school and that you need to get out or go out to eat or get a beer if that's your thing, you need to make sure that you maintain those people and ask them for help just as much as you do from professors, from your mentors, from professionals. Make sure that you're not losing sight of all those things. There's a lot of information that goes along with being pre-med, and asking for help is the first thing that you can do to guarantee that you're putting yourself in a position to succeed. And if you don't, and if you struggle like I did in class or in the application process, and that's going to give you the keys that you need so you can get that help and bounce back and get back on the right track. Like I said, filming here at EVMS, this is Not So Pre-Med. Make sure that you like, subscribe, ask a question below, and also find us on Instagram.